hands. This is abduction, so force that there. This one's usually more painful as well because there's something called, what is this called? It's a UCL ligament as well, but it runs right in here on the thumb, so you can test that by just stabilizing the first phalanx, or the proximal phalanx, and then the first metacarpal, or the metacarpal, and pulling that away from each other, and that will really stress that ligament. That one's commonly injured with the hyperextension thumb injuries. You can also have them do flexion, so bring your thumbs in like this. You just do a bit of overpressure, and then you can do abduction, so bring it to your pinkies, and then you can add overpressure. So usually those ones are fine. If you're thinking it's more muscular, you can also test strength, so try to pull your thumb up. Good. And pull it up. Good. So that'll test the thumb extensors. You can do it in abduction, adduction, and flexion as well if you want to test all the ranges for strength, but today we're just focused on the hyperextension muscles. So we'll say that he has pain going, let's just say, let me see how far I can force you. So he doesn't have much range here. We'll say that it's painful right here. So we're going to try to get him to stay in that position. So what you're going to do is you're going to have him kind of hold your hand like you're grasping something and bring it in a little. So you want to kind of have him sort of like this. So see how he's, yeah, like that. So it's in a bit of a flex position and a deducted position. So to start, you're going to start exactly the same way as you did with your anchor for the wrist. Again, right above the ulna on the dorsal side of the hand. And you're going to pinch coming in. So I'm not going over the wrist. It's okay if there's a bit of wrinkle here because you're going to cover this stuff up. Do your best to try to not let it wrinkle, but again, you're going to go around this. So kind of hold your hand like you're holding a can of something. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Beer. Yes, beer. And then you're going to use your quarter strips or half strips to do the ribbons. So I usually do 2 ribbons. You're going to start on that dorsal side again, come around the thumb, and you're going to pull it down and in. You have really bony thumbs. There we go. So this one is where you're going to pull it down and in. So you're kind of pulling it like that. Do the same thing again. If you feel like you need to do 3 ribbons, you're more than welcome to, but I'm only going to show you 2. So you want to overlap these ribbons. Try to do it by a half. Ideally, I'd like to kind of have one down there as well, but we're going to cover that up. So you do 2 ribbons, and then you're going to do the hoods this time. So these are just going to kind of force the thumb again more into that flexion and adduction. So I need you to hold your hand really strong. Hold your, yeah, there we go.
Really strong.
Yes. And then you're going to do 3 of these. So overlap them by half. And the last one's going to go right on top, and you can pinch it back here. And then you're going to cover this all up with your last anchor. So you can have the athlete move their thumb out of the way if that helps you. Try not to go over top of this knuckle here. And again, if you need to just maybe reinforce it a little bit more, you can kind of come up a little bit higher here. Okay. Now try to extend your thumb. Good. So he should have movement here. You don't want to block this joint unless there's injury to that joint as well, because they need to be able to move it. Good. So it is limiting a little bit. It could have been a bit tighter, but it still does it feel okay? Does it feel like you can try to do it with both your hands? Yeah. So you're noticing a bit of a difference there. If you needed to make it tighter, you're like, oh crap, I just finished it. It's not tight enough. Go around it again, do 1 more ribbon and a few more hoods and close it up again. It's totally fine to do that. If, like I said, I'd rather it be functional then look really good. So, and then if it's too constricting, just take the tape off and redo it. Like if this tape job takes you like 3 to 5 minutes to do, so you'll definitely have time to redo it if you make it too tight or something like that. Yeah, so just be careful with the ribbons when you're going around the thumb itself. You don't want to yank it as you're going around because that'll just constrict it too much. That's really the only spot where you're going to cut off circulation. Any other questions? And if your athlete just said, I actually want a bit of my wrist taped as well, like you could just go do a couple strips around. A lot of athletes like just a couple compressive strips around the wrist anyways, so it's fine. But some of them don't. So better to be safe than sorry.
Could you